This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is James Campbell, the MD of Botswana Diamonds. James, great to be speaking to you again. How are you doing?
I'm very, very good indeed, Mark, and great to chat to you too again as well.
Yes, indeed. Well, I know the last time that we spoke, you'd used AI to help identify other kimberlites, I think, in Botswana there, and then you'd actually acquired some licenses. So this is similar again, but this is now polymetallic. So you've used AI and identified some polymetallic opportunities that you've gone and indeed secured licenses for. So just tell us a little bit about this then and what that process was like, effectively discovering these opportunities.
Well, Mark, Botswana is very, very well known for diamonds. It's seen as the Switzerland of Africa and the home of diamonds actually in the world. However, many don't know that Botswana also has copper deposits, it has lead zinc deposits, it has iron ore deposits, it has nickel deposits, it has coal deposits, and the list goes on. So we've always felt that Botswana is underexplored for non-diamonds, or as we call it, polymetallics. But seeing we had probably the second largest exploration database in Botswana, we're looking at half a terabyte plus of information, 250,000 files, 150,000 line kilometers of geophysics, etc., plus an enormous amount of very high quality data from the Botswana Geoscience Institute, geophysical data, geological data as well, plus our own UK-based AI team. Now, we felt it would be remiss if we didn't kind of conclude the artificial intelligence study by looking for polymetallic deposits. And our press release of this morning announced the 11 license applications which have been accepted for 4 different types of polymetallic deposits.
Well, I saw a comment on one of the chat boards this morning that said, all of a sudden, Botswana Diamonds becomes Botswana Resources. So, I mean, is a name change on the cards, James?
Mark, I saw a similar comment on LinkedIn too as well. I think first and foremost, Botswana Diamonds is Botswana Diamonds. We're a diamond exploration and development company. But seeing we have this magnificent database and we have a world-beating AI team which is supported by non-diamond geologists. I'm the diamond geologist on the team. It would have been remiss not to look for polymetallics. So at this stage, yes, our focus is very much on diamonds. However, you know how juniors work, that if in the gamut of polymetallic licenses we've applied for comes something very large and very big, the board would certainly have a look at what to do with a company going forward.
Okay, well, that's great to hear. Now, what's the strategy? Importantly, you found these. You've obviously locked up the licenses because you feel that it has prospectivity here, and probably a good time to be locking up licenses at the sector where it is at the moment. You'd probably be able to pick them up for fairly good terms there. But there are lots of different. There's VMS, isn't there? There's greenstone copper. There's Mississippi Valley type deposits at SEDEX, and then you've got ultramafic. So lots of different deposit types here. I don't know if we need to explain exactly all of them, but how are you going to sort of hit them, and what's your strategy for attacking them?
I think, Mark, I think a couple of comments on that. Firstly, if we look at where America is going in terms of their overall strategic minerals grab, for want of a better word, and we've seen for the first time, or I've seen for the first time in my almost 40-year exploration history in Africa, is as America is becoming more and more important. And typically what you've seen in Africa is you've seen local explorers, you've seen Australian explorers, and you've seen British explorers. So typically the overseas people have been British and Australian, and to some extent Canadian as well, because those are the 3 homes of juniors, particularly in Africa. But now we're beginning to see Americas coming in, and you will of course know, and your investors will know as well, about Bill Gates's large copper discovery in northern Zambia through artificial intelligence. So none of this is strategically a surprise. But let me very quickly jump into the 4 different deposit types so investors know what we're looking for. The first one is what they call a Beshi type, or volcanogenic massive sulfides, which is copper. basically copper. And if investors want to look at maybe two different mines, one is Windy Crag of Canada, another is De Grusa in Australia. So these are two major mines. The second one, Mississippi Valley deposits. Well, of course, Mississippi Valley, a very large lead zinc producer in the United States. And then the second example of that will be Pine Point in Canada. The third type is sedimentary exhalative deposits, or SEDEX. This is where you find lead, zinc, and silver. McCarthy River in Australia. And we have many Irish shareholders in our company, and they just need to look at Navan. I hope I pronounced that right, in Ireland. Okay. And then fourthly, ultramafics. South Africa and Zimbabwe are well known for ultramafics, with the Bushveld Igneous Complex in South Africa and the Great Dyke in Zimbabwe, which is abundant in platinum group minerals. And in Botswana, you have the Malopo Farms Complex, plus other ultramafics, which are very closely associated with the Bushveld Igneous Complex. So we've got, like South Africa, like Zimbabwe, there is a magnificent, diverse geology in Botswana, which makes it highly prospective for all these polymetallics, in addition to diamonds. And then you must overlay that with a very, very strong political dispensation, which makes it a very easy country to invest in and to do business in.
Okay. So finally then, James, where's the focus going to be, just considering where the sector is? And what we mentioned before we started recording here about diamonds, and what you picked up from Cape Town was, the kind of bottom feeders, the vultures were coming in, which I see as a good sign. And valuations at the moment of these juniors are pretty low. You're starting to see some smart money start to position. Obviously, gold is very hot, copper's very hot. So, you're going to put your focus into the diamonds if you see it's coming back into flavor, or you're going to focus on copper, for example. What's the plan?
Mark, it's an excellent question, because many will ask, how on earth can Botswana Diamonds look at these 3 new diamond licenses, look at these 11 polymetallic licenses, plus look at all of our outstanding targets in the Kalahari? Well, the way in which our company focuses on work is very campaign driven. We raise money on the back of a specific campaign, and we deliver on that campaign. So what we have done internally, we have prioritized our diamond targets. We've prioritized the work that we need to do on the polymetallic deposits. And it's not saying that we're going to be drilling on all 15 licenses in the next 3 months. No, far from it. There will be geophysical work, which one can do fairly cheaply and fairly quickly to upgrade or downgrade the deposit. And yes, there will be drilling work. So it'll be a very careful sequence of planning to actually undertake the campaign work, so we can actually maximize our value for shareholders, and also at the same time is quickly drop that ground which we believe not to be prospective. Because that's, after all, the nature of exploration is to try and sort the wheat from the chaff and try and get rid of the poorer ground, so you can actually focus and hone in on the higher quality targets.
Indeed. So it's looking like it's setting up for a busy spring, summer for you guys.
Absolutely. But don't forget, we're the other way around in Southern Africa. We're about to approach our autumn and go into winter. And in fact, that's our best time to do work here, particularly in the Kalahari and Botswana and elsewhere, because the rain is gone and you have a dry, cool spell, which is perfect for doing geophysical work and for doing drilling too as well.
Perfect. Well, James Campbell, MD of Botswana Diamonds, thank you very much again for your time.
Thank you so much for having me, Mark, and I look forward to updating our shareholders with the results of what we're doing.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like, or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.